I'm going to MetLabs AI right now. I'm going to ask you a question. As I ask the question, I'm going to start the timer. This question is for everyone in the group. I'd like you to paste your answer in chat. Okay? All right. Now, this is not as simple as it sounds. We're going to use this to power what comes next. And soon I'll show you how this exercise connects with the very reason that we came together today. But for the time being, let me just ask you this question. Somebody tell me, using MetLabs AI, give me a simple explanation of multivariable testing. You can use variant or variable. People use either one. And I'd like you to paste your explanation in chat. I'm watching chat right now. I recommend that you do. We will have two conversations going on during today. One is this, and the sort of surface conversation, and the other is what's happening in chat, which can be powerful. Daniel Burstein has joined us, and I just want to point out with Dan at the top of the hour that he's here at my request just for this first one or two so that you can connect with him, know who he is if you're new, and realize his strategic role as really, he helped found MetLab's research guilds, which became the AI Guild today. The old days, they were just called research cohorts, and we all got together and we studied and learned. Dan's been with MetLabs for 15 years. Dan, you want to just say hi to folks? And then if you need to leave, we understand, friend. You're, of course, welcome to stay.
Great. Hey, everyone. It's great to see you on. It's, we see all the people coming into the guild with different emails and databases, and it's so inhuman, right? I mean, it's great to see it in the database, but it's so inhuman. It's great to see all the people on here today. So, I'm probably going to hop off, but if you ever need me, I'm on email, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help. The Circle community is also great. So
Dan is in the plenary session. That's the big session on Wednesdays, and he's also teaching his own group, MEC 300. Did you have that today, Dan?
We have it, 2 hours ago, 10 a.m. Eastern time is when we have MEC 300.
So once you get through 50, if you want to really build a funnel, you may be in Dan's group. But part of that power is working together to get these things done. Now, I'm looking inside. I'm seeing some answers come in. I think it's like A/B testing, right? Tracy, let's start backwards. I think it's like A/B testing, right? So I asked you a question, but you're not quite sure what I mean, right? What is the first thing you would do right now with MetLabs AI to get that answer? Somebody tell me. I'm reading other answers while you're telling me. If you don't know look at Tracy's point. I think it's like A/B testing. Now, here comes something from Lynn. Lynn, I'm going to have you speak to that in a moment. But what would you do if you weren't sure? There's a question being asked here. How would you get the answer, Tracy?
I'd ask the marketing professor.
Okay. And if you didn't know which expert to ask, what would you do, team?
Ask the AI mentor.
Mohammed gets a gold star in his chart. Absolutely. Go to the head of the class. He's a teacher, by the way, so I'm definitely teasing him. Wait a second. That's exactly what to do. Ask who to ask. AI mentor is where to go when you're stuck. That's the first thing today. If you're taking notes today, AI mentor is right here. You can see it. Talk with AI mentor. Can you see my screen? Can you see the blue button that says talk with AI mentor? Is everybody seeing that? Okay, let's try it. Tracy, ask AI mentor right now who you should talk to learn about multivariate testing. While Tracy's asking, why don't you see? Because the answers will not be the same. And I'm going to ask in front of everybody, who do I talk to learn about multivariate testing? Now, if you're typing, you're probably not using this to its full power. You'll get much more from voice, and we're going to learn that today. I'll share the plan of attack in a moment, but a marketing professor is starting to answer my questions. He's even telling me what course I could go in, but I should have asked AI mentor. So what happens if you spool up the wrong expert? What can you do about that? Anybody have an idea? Just go to AI mentor and say, Please answer again. And you don't have to wait for the other one to end, because while you're typing that, by the way, do you see how fast I went? It didn't take. Do you see what happened? I said it, I typed it. That's Microsoft's dictation software, couldn't keep up. So I'll use this software. Please answer the, oops, I turned it off. Please answer the question again. Now, AI Mentor is going to try to answer the question. Look, for insights and in-depth knowledge about the data scientist expert within Mix Labs is your go-to resource. Do you see what's going on here? Here is the lesson before we begin the lesson. Here's something to take away that can help you right now. When you don't know what question to ask, you can ask what question to ask. Let the tool help you. This is not software. If you want to skip all the way to the last line of my notes today, here's what it says. You don't learn McLab's AI, you get to know it. You say, what do you mean by that? Well, for one thing, I don't go back and like type formulas out. Let's go to data scientist and talk to it naturally. It said data scientist, so I'll click here. Let me ask a question. Here we go. Ready? Help me understand A/B testing and multivariate testing, period. Help me understand the difference, period. Show me the math, period. Because I'm not absolutely clear, can you put this into a 20-minute lesson so that I can walk away with a deep understanding of the differences between these two methods and which ones I might want to use in the future? Now, team, when I type that in like that, I don't really read it even. I just scan it, and soon I can just click and have the answers spoken back to me. If I click the button you see right here, does everybody see the read aloud button? Watch. If I click there, we can talk together. I'm just going to click this in right now, and I'm going to let a data scientist come alongside of me, because what you have in the left-hand column over here is a SWAT team that will come alongside of you. Look, introduction to A/B testing, 5 minutes. It's actually constructing the course that I talked about. There's the conceptual overview. There is the mathematical foundation for A/B testing. There's an application scenario. There's an introduction to multivariate testing. Again, just 5 minutes. There's the underlying math, and there are the key differences. Can you see what I'm seeing and its power to help you? Once you understand to think about this like a person, you'll bring the person with you, and they have a SWAT team working for them. And between this expert and their SWAT team, you can get things done in the world you couldn't do in the past. So would you all agree with me that that's a good answer that just came in? Now, Tracy, if you got this answer and you didn't fully get it, and you were talking to me, what would you do? Take it off mute and just tell me what you would ask me.
Well, I'd ask you a follow-up question.
What would you ask? Are you taking notes? I'm going to
I
give
am.
technique, team. Are you ready? This is all of this may seem random. It's not. It's deeply programmed and integrated into an outline for the day, and you're about to see it connect. But right now, I just want your brain involved. Here's a question. The math looks hard, period. Explain it to me on a 6th grade level.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Flint knows me.
So I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm going to retype that because I'm typing over myself. Are you ready? Boom. Here we go. The math seems hard. Please explain it on a 4th grade level to me right now, period. Use a good metaphor so I can really grasp it. All right, now, that little technique is a technique. Explain it to me on X level. Use a metaphor. Combining the use of metaphors, if you study the philosophy of learning and you go back to Platonic theory of remembrance, you'll understand there's a reason why these two pieces together drive a good result. Simplify the level of communication and connect it to something you already know. That's why metaphors are so important. Aristotle wouldn't be Aristotle if he didn't use metaphors, because he couldn't have said the things he said without them. Let's use a good metaphor. So what do we got here? Here we go. All right, let's simplify this and use a metaphor that makes the concepts much easier to understand. Imagine you're in a kitchen, you decided to make cookies, but you're not just making any cookies, you're experimenting to find out what makes the best cookie. So here we go. And there it does unfold, explaining the math using cookies and baking to help you understand the difference. All right, you should walk away right now with 2 understandings or insights that you can apply in the future. The first one is that do not think of this like something to learn, but think of this like a person to get to know, and speak and think in that way. The second takeaway that could be very valuable as you go forward is you can get unstuck by asking the thing you're stuck with to help you get unstuck. That's the difference between having a tutor and a book. A book can't talk back to you. This is not a book. This is not a one-way stream of information. This is the greatest flow of two-way information in the history of mankind. And yes.
It's your AI recording. As soon as you tune it on the voice, it kicks it down.
Okay, so when I dictate, it's tending to take my volume levels down. Is that better for you?
When you use meticulously.
Okay, team. All right, well, then let's keep going. Let's get to our notes. Let's talk about today. The question that we're answering is, how can we fast track our time to productivity? We just got 2 insights and saw an example, but here is the first thing that we need to do in order to get the most out of the day. We need to understand and review the approach, and then we're going to start working on nailing the basics. Take a look at this. Do you see the capability set listed here? Navigation, saving, sharing, start, all of this we're about to do together in a minute. So gear up. You're going to need to be able to take notes and to work in MechLabs AI so that you can get the most. First, I'm going to go to my point 1 and touch it very swiftly. There is 3 types of teaching that's going to happen. I'm going to touch mindsets. Can you think of something I said today that has an impact on mindset already? Mindset is as important as the communication of information. What's something very important about mindset we already said today? Here's a hint. Look at the bottom of my screen. You don't learn MechLabs AI, you get to know it. When I say something like that, it might sound conversational, but it is intentional because it is a key that will unlock a whole new level for you. And so watch for anything that we talk about that impacts mindset. The next thing to watch for is anything that impacts capability. You can see that there are capabilities we are targeting for you to walk away with at the end of 6 weeks. And I have failed you if you come and you try hard and you don't have these capabilities. Then it's on me. The third thing is practical applications. Before we're done today, we're going to actually sling this work at a value proposition so that we can ground everything we're learning foundationally with real life use cases. This method is going to permeate the approach going forward. And that brings me to the second point. Can I go to the second point? Just nod at me and say, yes, I'm ready. All right. So here we go. The first thing is navigation. I'm going to ask you a question. Go to MechLabs AI right now. How do I see my previous chats? Somebody just tell me. How do I see my previous chats? Direct my mouse if you need to. Tell me where to click or
Just
tell me
click
where
on the little clock on the right.
little clock on the right.
Yeah.
Now, because I've done this so often, I've discovered that it's important to be redundant, that I'd rather achieve clarity than be able to brag that we didn't have an extra word or an extra meeting. So I'm going to be redundant. Every single person who hasn't done this before, if you really want to learn with me, get your mouse over that chat history and click. And if you've done that, there's a bonus, and I'll tell you what the bonus is. Number one, by the way, you think, well, what do I care about this chat history? Once I got it, I cut and paste it. You're about to see why you're going to care, because you will care a lot in a minute, okay? But before I go there, I'm going to go and look at this little piece here. We have not done a very good job of this. These tool tips can really help you understand what to do here. So pay attention. We've rewritten them all, but we haven't been able to launch those rewritten tool tips yet because we're following our sprint goals. This helpful resources is the understatement of the day. Actually, the entire 100 courses in here. You can spool up anything you need to learn right now and take the course, click in it right here, study it, and learn right in the tool. Soon that will be context sensitive. It will follow you everywhere. And all of the courses and training, including tight little how-to snippets, will be fully integrated throughout the offering. That way you can leverage it as you go. So team, Cliff is going to now drop in 8 how-to videos. I'm sorry, 4. The links that you sent me yesterday, Cliff, if you'll put them in Zoom, these are 4 practical links to just going out and getting something done. These are micro classes. A fast class is 40 minutes of content in 10 minutes. This is about 20 minutes of content in 2 minutes, roughly. You want that to go fast? Learn it. Back to the outline, and we're going to start. So I asked a question, how do I find previous chats? Are you ready for another question? Okay. How? Some of you don't, depending on what level you're at, some of you are not at the 100 level, so you can't do this. We'll talk about that soon. We'll come to the big picture. Here's my next challenge. Everybody ready? All right. Now, I'm going to do this. Mohamedou, this is a little bit more challenging. Can you screen share if I stop my share? He's in Africa. I'm going to screen share. I would like you to share your screen. Okay, share it with us, pal. We want to see MechLabs AI. Just pull it up. Now, as he's pulling that up, Craig Calder, where would you go to change the branding? Do you know? Do you know where that would be? If you don't, it's not on you. We would just learn it, but I'll make sure you heard me. Can you hear me good? Okay, we'll go there next. Now, let's minimize that chat. By the way, show us the 3 levels of this, because some people don't realize you can minimize it. You can maximize it twice. All the way down. Yeah, that's it. Now show them the next level. Boom. Show them another level. Boom. There you go. You get more real estate if you click that 3 times. Now, what are you going to try to do for us now that you've got your chat open? Let's do this first of all. Let's answer the question I just asked Craig Calder before we go further. Where is branding at? Show us, buddy. Boom. Go ahead. Settings. And if you're a reseller, you can click right here and control your branding. Go down to reporting. You can do the same thing in reporting. And again, if you're a reseller, all that information is there. Where you often will find some challenges is in understanding how to navigate workspaces. So shift over to workspace and show us the top. That's it, Mohamedou. You're a teacher. Tell us how that works, friend.
All right. So, am I muted? No, I'm not. Okay.
There you go.
So here you have different workspaces. You can create a workspace as you wish. There's the button here to create a new workspace, and you can name it as you want. And in a new workspace, you can add members to your team. So you could come to people here, or is it to people or to works?
That's right. That's how you would add people. Invite members is up to the top right.
It's invite members. It's just that's not my main works. My main workspace is here, but here I could let's say this is the workspace I would create. I would invite members over here. So you can invite members to your different workspace depending on the plan or package that you have.
Okay. Okay. I think you've done an excellent job of that. I'm going to take over screen share for a moment. And as I come back to the screen share, let me ask you a question. How many of you feel like you absolutely know where to get your previous chats? Are you aware of that? Okay. How many of you have already created a workspace? Would you nod at me if you've already created a workspace? If you haven't, now's the time. Create one. You can delete it. Really simple. You just go into settings like we just did, see, and you'll be able to delete it. I'm going to share my screen now again so that we can be productive. I'm going to create a workspace on the fly. Watch. Create new workspace. Team. Test, test, test. Create. Now I have that workspace and my chats will be stored in that. There it is. I can go to settings, watch, make sure I'm in the right workspace. There it is. I can go back over here to the workspace. I can click on settings and I can delete the workspace or leave it. I'm deleting the workspace now. I got a cap lock, all of it in, DELETE, and I'm done. I created a workspace and I'm done for a workspace. Now, in a moment, I'm going to share with you why workspaces might be valuable, but I have a desire to make sure everybody on here can create a workspace before I move on. One more time, if you got it, nod at me. If you can be on video, please, okay? Because it's more like being in a classroom. If you think, wow, this is basic, yes, it is, and it's going to be basic. We're going to learn all this stuff, and if you already know it, you feel like you want to drop out, it's okay, because I'm going to stay right on this track, helping you get the foundation laid. I'm going back to my notes. The first question is, how do I navigate? Here comes the next one. How do I save? In fact, it's already automatically saved. So let's just say that. And here I am right now, and I'm going to close my screen. I'm going to click a previous chat. There it is. I recognize this chat. Wait a second, Charles, is this your business? I think it is. Right? I think it is. I might be wrong, but I remember our meeting. It seems like it's your. I didn't do this on purpose, but here's the chat. How do I work with this chat when it's done? We just saw how we found it, but what if I want to share it with a client or with my team and improve it? What if I want to make it visually more appealing? What can I do? Someone tell me. Does anybody know what to do?
If you want to format it, you mean? I remember you talked about using markup language to format things.
Is that who's that? Is that Irene talking?
It's me. Yeah. Hi,
Irene. You're right. Actually, if you look here, you'll see there is an edit button and there is a delete button. If I get a newer chat, I think I might have. Yeah, I have a microphone button. Now, this will allow me to expect. This will cause that chat to be read back to me. But if I click here, I can edit this chat. Now, guys, I can't tell you how valuable that is.
The following template is structured to help streamline your process in developing essential frameworks like the ICP, CFO, SCR, OVP, SMA.
So you can work back and forth in voice and we'll add dialogue. But something you should know how to do is to take a previous chat and do what I'm going to do next. Watch it, edit. Now, what you're looking at is markup. And if you don't know much about markup, it's just a few symbols that give you bold and italics and headers. And this is in that symbol language, but we're about to change it to HTML and you can embed videos. Look, this is a header. See those hashtags? If I take those off, that'll change. If I want to delete this, that'll change. If I want to go back up and just delete, let's say I leave the whole thing, cancel that, and I just want to take out my prompt at the top. I just go here and delete my whole prompt. Boom. Now, suddenly your chat, and if you're a writer, Irene, you can work in here, you can edit in here, and you can start keeping really clean records. The other thing you can do is you can do a piece of writing that you've already done, feed it in here for analysis, and then just save the chat and use it, to extract what you want from that. So the functionality of something as simple as being able to save and edit your chats should not be underestimated. This will allow you to take, say, a spool of work you're doing, put it all together in one location, and optimize it. Now, I can edit that chat. And the capabilities that we have this morning, look. How do I edit my work? How do I navigate my work? Craig Calder, I don't know what you've seen. Have you seen how to share your work? All right, Lynn, I think you've seen it. I'm going to go to MechLabs AI. I'm going to do a fresh chat. Can you explain to the group how they could share a chat that they might have just edited?
There should be, I don't see it there, but there should be a share symbol.
First, you have to pull up a chat. So let's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, pull up the chat. Okay, now there's the share symbol up in the corner. Yes, and when you click that, it'll give you a URL to share.
Okay, everybody on the call, if you really want to get the skill, then you want the problem to happen not when you start on this tonight. You want it to happen when the teacher's on the phone so you can tell him that he's an idiot and that he told you wrong and you can confront him with it. So please go share a chat right now, even if you're sharing it with yourself. Make sure you can edit and make sure you can share. Everybody, as sure as you try this, somebody on this call will have a problem. And I want to make sure that we're really helping you. So I click here. I create a link. I now copy the link. Somebody tell me why my button is purple. Test question, advanced question. Yes, ma'am.
It's white labeled for your colors.
Yeah, you know what? In branding, I changed the colors because I got tired of looking at blue. When you change one color, it automatically adjusts all the colors. There's a growth color, there's a color engine beneath this that mixes and matches so that it's still attractive, theoretically. And it works, I'd say 99% of the time. But right now, I just copy that link. I'm going to go to this new tab. What I want to know is if you were to send that link, let's suppose somebody's talking to a client, you could think about it, guys. You could pull up a tremendous amount of quality work for them, ask the experts, spool it up, and think, man, I want to share that. Not only can you share it so that they can read it, but look, if they were to take the link and click on it, this is the link, or paste it into their browser, you're seeing a new version of MechLabs AI generated, not the one I was working in over here. This is the original. This one is original. You know why? Because they can start chatting with the same expert and their interactions won't mess up your original. We'll save 2 records. They'll have their fresh version. So Irene, here's a use case. You speak with a client. You suggest an outline for what the work is, maybe a content calendar for 3 months. I suggest we do this, this, and this. MechLabs AI will build the entire content calendar for you really so swiftly. You can then ask questions, and the client may or may not see this. You could share that and say, I'm working inside of my AI tool. It would have your own name on it, Irene, and you could show the outline with it. It would have an expert maybe that you prepared for that type of client. Wow. What an extra, no other copywriter can do that. Here's another service that you could offer if you haven't already. We could train an expert to think like you do, and your client could submit their own work and just have you review and certify it. Save money for a group, like maybe you do the key pieces, they do the other pieces, MechLabs AI reviews them, makes suggestions, and boom, you've got it. These are simple use cases. And I'm about to put you to work on a value prop. So you need to, we're going to share a chat. We're going to do this. So make sure you can do it. All right. Any questions? Do you all think you could share a chat now? Let me ask, what's a use case that I haven't said? I'm going to do one while you think of one. Go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead.
I just ran into 2 friends of mine that I haven't seen in a long time, and I've been waiting to ask them to join me on my team with MechLabs. And what I just learned I'm going to set up a new workspace, and then I'm going to start sharing. I showed them, I demoed it briefly yesterday, but we didn't have a lot of time. So I'm going to pull them in and start sharing some chats with them so that they can see how this works and then help me build apps, experts, and libraries.
In fact, if for those of you that were in yesterday's plenary session, the Wednesday session, you could take the idea that I delivered there on how to create a org context guide, a master document on the organization to guide all your prompts. That's a deliverable that you could build just like this. That's a simple use case and it's powerful. Here's one. I get a call from school and the teacher says something. Here's a use case. Hold on, I'm going to pick a different expert. I'm just going to go to marketing professor instead of data scientist. I'll just stay there. Can you explain to me how to convert a fraction to a decimal? Question mark. Make it really clear. Use steps, period. Give me an easy to understand example. I can see that my words weren't all typed in, but I think it's going to go from the context. So I get a call from school and my child is having a problem. So now I spool up an expert answer because you know how hard that can be. And then I just share the chat with my child and say, go in there. And if you're not sure, ask a few more questions. And they can literally have a conversation with a tutor that you've already spooled up. What if they're doing a report on American history? You can reach in here, pull out an outline, suggest 3, send them the chat and have them pick up the work. What if you're running a class? What if you're speaking somewhere? Why don't you speak and teach with MechLabs AI and then share the chat with the audience and they can continue to get value from the essence of your communication? Now let's go back. This only works if you know the foundation. And what are the capabilities we're trying to learn today? How do I navigate? How many of you think you can move around now? Okay. Before you say yes, do you know about these things over here on the left and the right? And do you know how to use them? Everybody pretty clear on that? Okay, good. All right. So the next capability is, how do I edit my work? How many think you can do that? Nod at me if you think now you edit. You may not know markup. But if you don't know markup, just ask marketing professor. Say, how do I do this or do this in markup? He'll tell you. All right. How many of you think you know how to share your work now? Okay. Then let me ask you a question. How many of you feel comfortable that you know how to start? If you just sit down and look at this capability set, do you know where to start? Would you like help on how to think about starting? Okay. Now, the reason that's important is because I'm about to ask you to help with an assignment, and we're going to try to use MechLabs AI. But first, before I go into how do I start, here's what I'd like you to do. Can you get right in front of your version of MechLabs AI? Get ready to type. Get chat limbered up so you can type a piece in the chat and drop it in there. I'm reviewing this as we go. Now, here we go. I'm going to give you a series of goals. When you get to the answer, you type it in. Here's the first goal. Type in the 5th word from the last chat that you did yesterday. If you were here yesterday, use today if you didn't do yesterday. 5th word of the last chat. Seriously, you got to go find that. And that means you got to use the navigation. You got to know where your chats are. And I should have one already in there. This is a bad sign. It means that I'm not a very good teacher, but I'm trying hard. 5th word, last chat. While you're doing it, I'm going to do it. So watch me if you're stuck. I'm going to click on chat history. I'm going to go to this chat right here. I'm going to count my 5th word of the reply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th word's objective. I got it. I'm going to go over to chat and I'm going to type it in. And I have done my assignment. Conversion, Mohamedou. That would make sense. Irene. Okay. Ali. Oh, email. Now we're talking. All right. Good. Now, Excellent. I'm seeing Eugene. Good. All right, here comes the next piece. Ready? Now, this time, I want you to go in and start a conversation with pricing strategists. Ask pricing strategists for a definition of recency, RECENCY. Now, this means you got to find pricing strategists and you got to ask the right question. Go for it. What have you got? Yes, go ahead. Do you have a question? Okay. All right. We'll just go to marketing professor and ask the same question for now. You're right. Price strategist is at the second level. I'll remember that next time, but we can still answer. And I'm looking for your answers. The term recency, Eugene is pasting in the content marketing customer may reverse the freshness of the most recent occurrence of action. That's correct. Eugene has the right answer. Eugene, there's a check for $10,000 coming to you from Adrian Tatum. He told me he would donate. Congratulations. It's rupees, but still, it's exciting. All right. Let's keep going. Recency refers to the state or condition of being recent, relating to an occurring near the in various fields. It takes in a specific nuance. Graham, that's it. So you got a general definition. All right. Here comes the next question. I only see two. Do you all know how to find a strategist and ask a question and get an answer? Okay. Ready. Good. All right. Here's your next question. Design a 4-day course on learning the value proposition. Let's make it 5 days, 1 day a week, lunch and learn, 30 minutes a day. Design it right now. Type your design in, right in the chat, paste it in. While you're doing that, Paul Gerard, you get an advanced question because you've already taught it 200, so you have to be advanced at some level here. I'd like you to figure out the best tool you would use in order to get a quick reply to this question. How do I improve my value proposition? Tell me the process and the tool, and actually paste it right here in chat. Meanwhile, I'm watching. Maybe I'm missing it. Are you guys still stuck? I still don't see anything coming in. Who are you speaking to, Craig, to build your plan? Good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. The marketing professor is a good one. Who has an outline for the 5 days already built? What have you got, Tracy? What have you got? Oh, there we go. There we go. Graham just pasted his in. Tracy, go ahead and paste yours in. And look what Adrian did. He pasted a shared link to his chat. He gets a gold star in his chart. That's advanced. He's putting the blocks together. Okay. Now, you're starting to nail this down. One more really quick thing. Let's see if you can do this. Somebody pick and have a blueprint set up. Here's a hard question now. Write a headline and put it on the top of a web page inside the tool. That seems kind of hard. This is a bonus question. This one really is $10,000. I hope you don't get it. What is the way to do that? All right. I'm watching you go to work. While you're going to work, I'm going to start to work. So I could go to my headline tool over here, and this guy will build a beautiful headline for us from scratch. I'm going to do that while you're playing. I could click teach me the principle. I'm watching chat, so don't slow down. Keep that coming in there. But I could take a class right there. Instead, I'm just going to write an optimized headline based on this test company. And I'm going to say that this company is flowers. And I'm going to go here. And I guess I'll just take the whole page. Control A, Control C. I'll go back to MechLabs AI. I'm gonna just take actually. I'll do this.
I interrupt for 1 sec.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure. Those two things on the sides, you might not have seen me, but I don't know what they are or how to get at them. Is that what you're looking at
Yes,
now?
ma'am. That's why we're doing this, because earlier I asked that question. Everybody said they knew, but it's easy for us to misunderstand each other. And I'll come back to it.
Okay,
And
thanks.
I'm going to say, you can see, would you all look at my screen for a minute? Can you all see how bad I've informed this tool? I haven't given it very much to work with. What's the problem that your product service solves? What is the solution that you offer? And there's a template in there for that. But watch, I hit continue. And now I pick which one of these. See, I can go deeper right here and I can take a course, or I can just say, no, I think this is my biggest problem. People don't understand what's unique. Hit continue. I can generate headlines. I can take this headline right over here and I can change all the headlines and make them bolder. Now all the headlines are going to get bold. Now that I've got that, I could take a further look at this thing and think, you know what? I will go with this as a favorite. Now pick one here as a backup. And now McLabs is analyzing the headline, color coding it. I will now pick a word that I want to change. Instant joy. I could change that to instant festival, trip, excursion, journey, holiday. That was holiday. I'm going to change that to holiday. Your holiday, I'll change the vacation. Boom. Instant joy. Transform your vacation with on-demand flower delivery. Just making this up. Why was the headline chosen? It tells you right there, showing the methodology. I can change it right here. I can edit it. I can take my words out. Or I can just copy it. Look, let's copy it. Now back to your question. By the way, if I wanted to, I could continue and it will produce a full report. There's the headline. There's why it was chosen. There's the force rankings. There's the problems. You could give this to a client, Irene, along with the headlines you chose and why. All you do is, if you want to, it'll turn it into a printable report to give to a client. So, you can create it that way. That's one way to get a headline. But you could also just ask Conversion Pro. I am going to do this. I'm going to cancel that. I am going to make sure I copied that last one. I think I copied it. Now watch. I'll go back to McLabs AI. Side peaks, Tracy. That left one was the headline tool. Watch my mouse. My right one is going over here. Okay. Now I can create a funnel. And look, I can pick up the previous conversation, the one we were just having, right there. And I can come over here, and as this is loading, I can pick a blueprint, boom, get started. I can set my preferences, or it'll go to my website and scrape my branding. Don't worry about that right now. And see right here, I can put that headline in right there. If I want to, I can paste it there and begin to work on it. So you just highlight, boom, Control V. I can minimize this, get out of the way, get the page bigger so I can see it better. If I need to work on it, slide this back out of the way so I can do more, cancel, boom, go full screen. There's that headline on the page, ready to rock. And if I need, like McLabs AI to help me, I just click over here, spool it up, and my page is being built. And I've got McLabs looking over my shoulder to help me. Let's go back. What do you need to know from that? Just how to get to those things. That's all you need to know today. How do I navigate? How do I edit? How do I share? How do I start? If you don't know where to start, go to AI Minter and say this. This is probably the easiest thing. I click on the logo to get back to homepage. I might even minimize this, go to my Minter and say, or go to, let's just click this out of the way. Watch what I do. I'll minimize this and click on Minter. If I didn't go that way, I could pick Minter out over here in the left. I could also click on this box and pick Minter from right here. He's with a description and even prompts. I'm picking on Minter. Watch. I don't know where to start. It's not even a question. It's pretty bad, right? Starting your journey with McLabs can seem overwhelming at first, especially if you're not sure where to begin. However, the very essence of our purpose is to guide you systematically. Look what it's telling you. Identify your objective, leverage available resources, engage with the community, start small, and it's like laying it all out for you. Watch what I do next. I want to improve my value proposition. Where do I begin? Now, let's suppose you'd never been to 50, but you learned just what we've learned today. You know how to get around. You know how to ask a question. You know how to start a workspace. There it is. Laying up step by step. If you wouldn't know which expert to start with, I'd just say which expert. It'll tell you which expert to start with. And you can start to get a result. Pause right there. Eugene, what's the most important thing you've heard today so far? We're doing this for the benefit of the rest of the group and to lock it inside of you.
Okay, I have to think about this.
You think this? Go ahead.
No, but just the fact that you can talk to the tool like it's a human, that is pretty amazing.
That's the way you have to do this. The whole world's going to open up if you start talking to it like that. Eugene, I think you put your finger on something. I remember the experience I had when GPT could be used on your phone and I started talking with it back and forth. And I thought, oh my, this will change. On the creative side, it's a completely different experience. And so you're right. Let me ask someone else. Paul Girard, thinking about today, you've been with us a long time through all of this. What do you see? What's the most important thing you've heard so far? Yeah. I think we're coming back to the same thing. That means, and I'm going to give you a advanced tip that I have seen unbreak people many times. The next time you're not sure what to do, imagine for a moment you're in a room with me or Dan and just ask the question you'd ask us. I don't care how general it is, or basic or foundational or anything. Watch AI Mentor now. I'm a little scared. I don't typically type all caps. This is overwhelming. Now, I don't know what he's going to say because he doesn't have a memorized package, but he does have a value set. Do you hear me? And he's following the values I've trained him. First thing, it's humanize the experience. Sounds like Dan, doesn't it? Feelings of overwhelming stems from uncertainty. It's essential to remember that you're not alone in this journey. Sharing your thoughts and experiences with others. Look, start with a small response. Embrace the testing mindset. Seek different perspectives. Build on small wins. Do you see what it's doing to encourage me? It's trying to help me. Now, Eugene, to your point, and Paul, to your point, before we're done, I'm going to introduce you to building experts. The advanced work there happens in other courses, but let me just share this with you. I can build an expert that knows everything about your business and will quietly, gently, politely, with nuance, answer questions in a way that drives sales. It has been built and engineered into its heartbeat, not simply to provide information, but to drive people towards an objective. There's no chat out there that can do that. What happens when this being who's getting intelligent every day, more and more intelligent, is working hard to serve your audience, but also to get them to say yes? That's a different level. We've never seen it before, team. We've never seen it. And you can think about this two ways. If you get into 1,000, and I'm not saying you should, it's not for everybody. Just building that for somebody else is a business. Not to mention your own. This is your moment. And we have a last bit of time to invest together. Here we go. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to pick. That's all right. The post-COVID. Yeah, we'll mute that. All right. Are you ready? Watch what I do. Get ready with MechLabs AI. I'm going to do a search. And the search I'm going to look for is appliance insurance. 5 best appliance insurance home warranty companies. Can you all see my screen? Okay. I'm going to pick this one right here, American Home Shield. I know this company. So that's why I picked it. All right, we got a spelling error, but we're going to take it anyway. Boom. All right, let's go to plans and pricing. Okay, here's a page. Team, here's your first thing. We have 5 minutes. Your brain is not allowed to stop until the top of the hour. I need 110% of your brand bandwidth for these next 5 minutes. Are you ready? Here we go. What is the value proposition from this page, and how would you find it? Somebody tell me. What would you do? And by the way, work as you're telling me. Do it in MechLabs AI. What would you do?
Isn't there a web page analyzer in here somewhere? I think.
Yes, there is. There is. One way to do this is to go over to apps and to pick web page analyzer. See it? Try it, everybody. Some of you will have the internet like blip on you. When you do that one, it'll happen about 1 out of 10 times. And that's okay. Just try it again. But I just took that URL. I'm going back to MechLabs AI, and I am going to paste the URL in and see what happens. Now, while that's happening, just to give you a sense of the other way, I'm going to go back to the website that we were just at. I'll pull it up here, but where I'm working. And I'm just going to do Control C. I'm going to go back to the tool, and I'm getting ready to paste it. Before I do, I'm going to ask a question of somebody. Who am I going to ask? What am I going to ask? You got to go fast because I'm going to answer it if you don't.
Conversion?
I'm going to go to Conversion Pro. Look what's happening on this page. It has analyzed it. Here's the headline. There's the CTA. There's the main bullet points. There's all laid out for you. I will teach you the basics of an interactive session. That's coming very soon. And we're going to get everything we need to be productive in just 6 weeks, 7 total. But take a look at this outline. Now watch. Now I can say to Conversion Pro, improve the value proposition. Wait a second. Did you all see that genius prompt? You got to study a long time to be able to write that prompt. Wait a second. Step 1, define your target audience value proposition. There it is. And he's laying out why it is. Giving me resources. And I am wondering if it's doing it. I'm just going to say this just in case. Use this info. I'm making sure it knows to do it from that page, just like a human being. Might be confused. In case he is, I gave this info that I copied the page and pasted it in there. And here it comes. Core elements of the age. There it is. Comprehensive coverage, peace of mind, customizable plans. Here's how to improve it. Quantify and specify benefits. You know that's MechLabs methodology. Trust-based messaging, credibility. Sound familiar? Unique competitive advantage. There's your exclusivity factors. It's not there. Pivot. Folks, people should pay for this if it came out of between your ears and your tongue. They would pay for this. But we just spooled it up in less than a minute. Like really, the hard work was less than a minute. Now, I'm giving you a homework assignment. Look at Circle. Every one of you need to be in here where it says MEC 50, get productive. This is where to go back and work. I'm asking you right now to pick a competitor's page, analyze the value proposition, and paste your findings into Circle. And we're all going to discuss it together as we go forward. We are not learning value prop. That's in MEC 200. We are learning the foundation of using the tool, how to get productive with MechLabs AI. That's all we're learning. But we want to always put the sharp point of a result in the world on that learning. Do you see why I'm doing that? I don't want unrelated, irrelevant learning. I want you to learn something with the pressure on that it's got to add up to a change in results. Because we live to change the result. Okay? That's the point. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to pause. Is this all making sense? Does anybody see 50 coming together for you? Do you see all the pieces? Good. And remember, if you invite someone into the guild, they're going to be invited into this same process. Everyone is going to have a chance to get sort of hands-on if they want it, so they can get value right away too. I'm really grateful for your time. I have the top of the hour. I'm going to stop. Thank you for letting me do a drive-by shooting. I'm trying real hard.
That was fun.
All right. And remember this, you end on this point. If you did your job today, you want to have this capability and you want to have this mindset. We're going to learn this next week, but you should know how to navigate, how to edit, how to share, how to start. And you should have the mindset of this. You don't learn McLeod's AI, you get to know it. With those two pieces, if that's where you're at, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Just stick with the process, and you can trust it when you don't even trust yourself. We'll get you there. Thanks all. I'll see you.